Hello everybody, it's me, Green Beauty ASMR. I am back today with a few things to do, but before we talk about everything, I wanted to show you this. This is from a brand called Relax Bands, and it looks just like this, obviously, and you wear this while you're in bed, and it has two speakers inside, and you connect it via Bluetooth to your phone so that you can listen to ASMR or other videos while laying on your side. I was sent this just to show you. I was sent a free one in exchange for me showing it to all of you. And I find that this headband is really comfortable, really soft, and definitely warm. One thing that I struggle with is laying on my side with my headphones in. That always has been an issue, so this has been really nice helping with that. It has two speakers located on either side, so you do need to do some positioning on the head to get it just right to where you're lined up with the speakers in your ears. Like I said, it is Bluetooth, and you can see here we have the play or pause button, in addition to the increase the volume or decrease volume. It comes in this package also with some directions. It also has a USB cord that I don't have right in front of me. It's just over there, but nothing really I need to show you about that. So it has directions on how to sync it with your phone. It's very intuitive, linking with your Bluetooth, and also ways to change the track. Oh, I'm sorry, this is to change, the plus sign is for changing the music, the track, if you're listening to music, not volume. Volume would be then on your phone. Anyway, I just wanted to show it to all of you. I'm going to have the website down below. You will get 5% off if you're interested in securing one of these for yourself. All right, so now we're going to chit chat quite a bit. I have so many updates for all of you that I wasn't sure if you'd want to hear about, but I got a lot of feedback explaining that you're interested in my life, which is really nice. While I talk to you about what's been going on, I'm going to clean some of my jewelry. I got out some silver pieces, and then I think some other pieces that I'm going to drop into the jewelry cleaner. But I also got these jewelry wipes. They were expensive, and you only get 25, and when I got them, I opened them up and I'm like, oh my god, these are dry. What? But guess what? They're supposed to be dry. Duh. They work, actually. You just clean your jewelry with them. I got them off Amazon. I also got this liquid cleaner from Amazon too, actually to clean this ring that I dug out. My husband got me this ring when I passed my state licensing exams to become a therapist. That was back in 2014 or 2015. Yeah, it has a beautiful little stone. I love this ring, and that was so sweet of him to do that for me as a gift, because he knew how difficult and stressful that time was. So let's do some sorting. Oh my gosh, you guys, I have stories for these rings. This ring was given to me by my first serious boyfriend on our 6-month anniversary. It's a promise ring. I still have it. Obviously, hello, it doesn't even fit. Did I wear it on my wedding finger? Yes, girl, you know I did. Thinking I was, you know, gonna get married at the age of 14. Oh my gosh. Yeah, but it was very special. We were at the Elephant Bar restaurant at the time, and we obviously broke up, but he was my first love, and we needed different things. He was wanting to settle down after high school, and I had many dreams of moving to the big city, of traveling, and so we just had different wants in life. Of course, we were so young, my goodness. And he ended up getting married and having a family not long after we broke up, which is fine. I don't talk to him too much, but hello, Brandon, if you're there. Yeah, so that ring is really special, and I just always wanted to keep it. It was such a big time in, you know, adolescence, your first love, right? So I'll tell you about this one. I don't know if I've talked about this one before. This is also extremely special to me. That's my birthstone, September. This was a gift from my father when I turned 14 years old. And it was the first piece of jewelry. I actually received this before, like something like this from, a boyfriend. This was sort of the first piece of nice, expensive jewelry that I received, and my dad picked this out for me and gave it to me. And he died later that year. And I think that's probably why he wanted to give me something like this, and I cannot tell you how special this is to me to this day. It may not fit all the way on my, post-baby 2 years later body, but it fits. It fits. We're okay. So I like to wear it sometimes, and I've always worn it on special events. I wore it on my wedding day, even though it did not go really with the other jewelry, but I didn't care. So that's a special one. And then the next year, my mom got me this one to go on the other hand, also my birthstone. Yeah, okay. This is going to be long because I've already said so much, and we're not even to the juicy things. Let's begin. Okay, I'm going to move my crystal necklaces. Does anybody remember when I used to wrap crystals? I don't know if I made a video. It was really at my channel was not super popular, but I was getting a lot of momentum. This is when I had a lot of free time, obviously. This is a very poor wrapping job, but it was something that I was interested in at the time. Those years that were baby free and lots of free time. I'm going to open this up here to put some jewelry inside just for a few minutes. I hope it's not too loud. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm going to drop in. Let's see, we're going to do this one. And these two gold ones. The other ones I'm gonna just do with because that's opal. I can't put that in here. We're just gonna put these in here briefly. Don't let me get to talking and forgetting. Oh my gosh, I heard if you keep things in this for too long, it damages them. So let's get out a wipe. Okay, where to start? Let me start with, last time I checked in with all of you, I had mentioned that we were thinking of moving. Well, we were house hunting for a very long time, sort of passively and then more actively. there was a day where we went and saw 6 houses, and it was actually back in my hometown. And I wasn't sure that moving back to my hometown was something that I wanted to do, or somewhere that I wanted to raise my child in. So that was a lot for me to consider. It was great logistically in terms of how far our money could go, and very family friendly. But yeah, everything has its pros and its cons. So we decided not to buy any of the houses we looked at over there. And that took us kind of back to square one. And really the issue was we could not decide on where to move. And we are still kind of in that place, but we are gaining a little bit more clarity around that issue. So I'm still in our very small home, which is partly why filming has become an issue. Not an issue, but a challenge. Logistically, just space. Ever since we had the baby, who is now a toddler, thank you to all of you who remember that he was born in March, and sort of keeping track of his age. That means so much that you pay attention to my life. So thank you. Things just fill up. This house is like full to the max, and so we need more space. So one of the biggest things, but not the most difficult things, was the fact that we were looking to move, and it was preoccupying a lot of my mental space and of course time. This is from my mother-in-law. So look at that. That's what the wipe gets off. That's soot or varnish. Because now we're getting into the emotional stuff. Let me just warn all of you that I am going to be talking about cancer, and I'm going to be talking about death. So in the midst of all of the moving houses, my aunt, who I'm very close with, and I was very close with growing up, was diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer and did not have a very good prognosis. Oops, I'm so distracted. She was somebody that when my dad was sick, she was really there for me and my brothers. My mom was always at the hospital. My dad was staying in the hospital for weeks on end at certain points. And she just dropped everything out of her life to come stay with us. And I was in 7th grade because I remember my first junior high dance. She was staying with us, and she helped me do my makeup and my hair. She taught me to blow dry your hair upside down to get more volume. She taught me to put the eyelash curler under the blow dryer for just a moment to heat it up to give your eyelashes more oomph. And she really did my makeup for the first time. Really, she taught me so much about makeup and nails and things like that. And she used to make our school lunches and leave little notes on the napkins. And she didn't know it at the time, but those small gestures of love helped me so much in those really difficult months where you really don't know if your father's going to live or die. And I shared that with her. We're close, and I've told her, do you even remember doing that? And she said, oh yeah, I remember, writing notes. And I said I would take those out at lunch and feel so comforted and so loved. So she was diagnosed and had to get surgery like immediately. Of course, this was during COVID, and nobody could go with her. And normally with that side of the family, it's a very big family. We're very, very close and family oriented. we would all be gathering together to just process it, maybe pray about it for some people, and we weren't able to do that. You know, nobody wanted to kind of go around my grandma, and my grandma's house is the main hub, and we were not allowed to do that. She ended up getting surgery and is okay for now and does have to start chemo. I'm not sure if she's going to choose to do that or not. When they got in there, it was not as bad as they thought, which was a good thing. At the time of this happening, it was incredibly stressful because the news was very dark. Like, you know, it did not look good, basically, and they wanted to get her in ASAP. And of course, it brought up so much of my own loss, right? It triggered so many memories for me and even my brothers. You know, we would talk to each other, and they were really scared for her, and just really, it's basically triggering our trauma. So I had to get a little towel for wiping these down. So yeah, the experience with my aunt was really stressful because we also were trying to move, and I don't know if you've ever moved, like in terms of buying a house, moving, it's so stressful. There are so many forms. You're talking about big sums of money, which can be really stressful. There's so many things. And then getting your house prepared. In fact, I think there was a study done that said buying a house and getting a divorce are the top two most stressful things. Anyway, so shortly after my aunt was going through all of that, a family member came out with a certain part of their identity and shared it with our family. And this was actually not a negative thing. This was amazing and beautiful and really special for them to speak their truth. And of course, this sometimes even beautiful things come with difficult feelings for others. So yeah, in that time I was doing a lot of supporting of certain other family members, and as they kind of went through this new change and understanding certain aspects in terms of the vastness of people and their identity and what that can mean for some, and then some feelings that might bring up for others. So there was a lot going on in my family in that way, and of course all positive and filled with love, unconditional love, support, advocacy, all of those wonderful things. But that took up a lot of space as well. Now I'm getting to the hard part. I actually filmed an update for you not that long ago, like last week, where I laid it all out, but I got so emotional that I felt really vulnerable in using that footage. So to where it was clear that I needed to think a little bit more about what I was going to say and how I was going to say it. After that, I'm telling you, the past 6 months have been really full, emotionally, mentally. After that, one of my old friends dropped dead out of nowhere. He was a husband and a father to a little girl, and they still don't know what caused it. They think maybe a brain aneurysm, but that was really, really difficult news. I was absolutely shocked. Just really quick, this ring my friend made, I may have mentioned it before. She does jewelry. I think I've shown some of you her link. It is expensive. She uses like high-end stuff. If you're interested, let me know. I'll send you her shop. So my friend, I got news the next morning of what had happened, and I can't even, oh my gosh, it was so hard, you guys. It still is. His wife decided not to have a funeral because of COVID, and it will be massive. And so instead, she's going to do a celebration of life for his birthday in the summer. When I received the news, he was one of those people that you are just so shocked when they die. He was incredibly healthy. He was fit. He was a yoga teacher. And I just, I was shocked. And not to mention his wife, who I'm also friends with, and they were a couple that I met years and years ago when I first moved to the big city, and I ended up dating his best friend for a while when I first moved to the big city, and so we spent a lot of time together. They are wonderful people. He was a wonderful human being, filled with love and compassion, justice for all beings, somebody who was kind, with an open heart and an open mind. And he loved his wife and little girl so much. I hadn't seen them in a while because they ended up moving further away, and I just never make it out that far. But we always remained friends, and he actually lost his father some years back, and we talked a lot during that time, his pain and his grief. And that was really hard. I know that I might sound detached talking about it now, but it's because I feel numbness to it. And that really brought up a lot of feelings for me, even existentially, in terms of death. And he was so young, and he literally was like getting into bed, rolled off the bed. His wife said, "Are you okay?" He didn't answer. So she goes over, and he's dead on the floor. I mean, it was just like one of those freak things. So I think because of that, it was even more shocking and difficult, and it just really drove home this whole thing around, you know, if any of you are parents that are listening, this idea of what would happen if that was us and it was our children we were leaving behind. And I mean, even for me, for his daughter, I mean, we know her trauma for life, you know what I mean? And I knew what it was like to lose your daddy so young, and what that does to the trajectory of your life. So it was hard. And I know that his family will be okay, but it was just a complete loss for the world. It really was. I know that we hear that a lot, we say that a lot, and this was just so true. So that, I think, out of everything other than my aunt, was the most difficult. I could barely work, you know, seeing clients is really hard when you have your own stuff going on. And I have learned and am naturally able to make space for other people's suffering, even in the midst of my own suffering. And that is something that comes natural to me. So it was fine. It just was hard, you know. And just kind of trying to work through that. I don't know how I'm going to clean this giant chain. I mean, this was the main thing. Anyway, so in addition to all of this going on, also experiencing, as many of you have, what it means to live in this country, and witnessing the systemic and institutional injustices like racism, and how it affects our fellow human beings. And I know that I don't talk a lot about this on my channel, and some of you might feel that this is a political topic, but it is not political. It is a humanity topic. And with the rise in the attacks and murders on Asian American and Pacific Islander individuals, that was incredibly difficult. I have several friends who identify as such, and even in the area in which we live, they still feared for their safety. And that, of course, goes without saying, the injustices for our Black, Indigenous, and Brown communities, Latinx, African American, and Indigenous fellow human beings. And I don't know if you guys know this because I don't really talk about it, but I do a lot of that work in my life. Personally, in terms of not just what I read, but groups I participate in, things that I watch to learn and unlearn. And I also integrate that line of thinking and orientation towards the world in my teaching. So I was holding a lot for my students, and obviously my community members and all beings who face injustice and the lack of liberation in this country. So that was something that also was taking up a lot of my time and space, to where I couldn't find the quietness to come on here. My mind was so filled with so many things. And even now, as I share this with all of you, I feel vulnerable in some parts, not all parts. But that's my truth, and that's where life has been for me lately. It's feeling a little bit better now. I'm also going through a lot of body stuff, shame around my body, that, you know, has been years in the making as a cisgendered female in this Western culture. All the conditioning and messages we receive. But after having a baby, it really, really exacerbated, and especially going through the pandemic and finding comfort in sweets and eating and relaxing, and just being so exhausted by life that all at the end of the day I want to do is sit down and eat some candy or go to In-N-Out. And so I've gained weight, and that's really I'm really trying to hold myself in a loving, compassionate way and really rewrite how I historically have spoken to myself about my body, right? And really readjusting the belief that the size of a body has inherent value, that the smaller you are means you're more valuable or worthy. That is wrong. That is false. So I've been doing my own internal work around that. I'd like to switch rings. I've been wanting to. This one, it gets caught on everything. It has gotten to be really annoying. This ring was a gift from my mommy. Yeah, and so I've been grappling with a lot of insecurity and really trying to dissect and let go of belief systems that no longer serve me, harmful, internalized self-worth issues that are based upon a oppressive culture against women and the impossible standards that women face. And I know that so many of you women listening are nodding your heads. Yes, I know exactly what you mean. Impossible standards, self-worth, fear of being fat or being ugly and not being desirable, especially us mommies who've had babies, right? I could make a whole other video about it, and in fact some of you have asked for that video, and if there's interest I will, and I can kind of make it educational but also personal about my journey. And the last piece, if you're still here with me, I'm sorry I don't have much more like fun things to show you. I went through my jewelry so much faster than I thought. The last piece is speaking of insecurity, okay? Speaking of insecurity, I almost ended my channel, okay? I felt, and I think it's because I was going through so much other stuff personally, like I was so depressed and sad about my friend and my aunt and the state of the world and my loved ones and community members of color. It seeped into all parts of my being, and I really felt like my channel was dumb. I'm just gonna say it. I felt like now there are so many channels out there that are amazing, and people have the time and the money to invest, and why would anybody want to watch mine? Mine are so basic, it's almost embarrassing to post. I have been gone for so long, nobody, I might as well just stop. I went through this really big doubt and insecurity to where I was talking to my husband saying, I think I might stop my channel. I think I'm just gonna stop. And he of course is supportive for whatever I want, but he was really surprised, and he's like, but you love getting your comments and talking to people. And I said, I know, and I love looking at a camera and speaking in a soft voice. I used to sometimes get these urges just to look at all of you. I just make it up in my head and speak to you with such love and kindness and softness. That is so natural for me. I feel a pulling and a calling to do that sometimes. Like I literally feel like I need to set up right now. I've got this energy flowing through me and I want to make a video. But where I was in this space was that my videos are stupid. They're so like basic and so it was just so yucky, you guys. The headspace was really yucky and so unlike me. And for a minute there, honestly, I thought I was done. I really did. This is gonna make me cry. did not expect to get emotional at this part. And I don't even know if you're still listening, but then I decided to randomly post a video because I'm like, whatever, I want to do it. Like, who cares? This is, this is my little corner of the internet. I don't have to be the best. I don't have to do all of this elaborate stuff. And then when I posted the video, and I got so much feedback, positive feedbacks from so many of you, and then I got so many messages on Instagram. It was so kind, and it really was what I needed in that moment, you guys, and you don't even know how I needed that. And so your kind words and your enthusiasm and curiosity about my family and my life, it meant so much. I genuinely mean that. And no joke, it is literally because of you all, like, why I'm still doing this, even though I feel embarrassed at how poor quality things are, or the self-doubt. I'm still here because I also do enjoy it, obviously on some level. So that's sort of where I've been and what's been going on in my head all these past 5 or 6 months. I really did not expect to get emotional at that part, but it came. There it was. So I thank all of you for still being here, and I just want to clarify that I am not needing like brushes of the ego, or I'm not fishing for compliments or anything. I genuinely am not. I just wanted to be fully honest in my whole experience, and like where I've been and where my headspace has been. And included in that was how I was feeling about my channel. And so I hope that you all find some value in this honesty and transparency of just like me laying it all out for all of you. Just family stuff, but even down to smaller things like the insecurity around my channel and whatnot. So I'm not sure anybody's still listening. This was such a long video. I'm sorry, but I obviously had so much to say to you. I wish so badly that we could get together and talk in real time. I try to respond to all my Instagram messages or comments. Sometimes can't respond to all the comments. I read every single one of them. I'm playing around with the idea of doing a live stream. Honestly, the biggest pull is because I want to talk to you all in real life, or like in live time, like have an exchange of conversation, even though if it's via chat or whatever. So if you would like something like that, please let me know, because if I don't want to like do it if there's not very much interest. But I will be more thoughtful about that. And I just feel like wanting to connect with you and this community on my channel, community filled with wonderful human beings and kindness and light and love. So if that is something you are interested in or feel like you would participate in, let me know and I'll think more about it. Thank you so much for being here. As always, genuinely from my heart, thank you. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.